All right, Honorable Minister, good to see you again. It's been a busy time for you. 3 weeks of commissioning, non-stop. At the end of the day, about 15 projects commissioned. The president, you have the honor of hosting the president personally, at least 4 times during that period. He commissioned about 4 of the projects personally. This must make you feel so, special that you could drag the president up and down at least 4 times in the last 3 weeks.
Well, Banya, thank you very much. I was not dragging the president up and down. Rather, the president had the interest to see that the people of Abuja, the residents of Abuja, are happy with what he's doing. And so that affords him the opportunity to see for himself what he has done to us. The president personally attended 5 times. 5 times. One was the commissioning of the rehabilitation of the Bola Tinubu International Conference Center. Another one he attended was the interchange at the Grishi area. And then another one was the Abuja Greater Water, And then another one was the A2 Pi Road. And then flagging off of the annex of the Independent Electoral Commission. So he has attended 5 times personally and has mandated the Senate President, the Speaker, the Deputy Senate President, and the Vice President to take responsibility of other ones, of course, because of the numerous engagements. If you recollect, the Speaker represented him in commissioning the Mabuchi bus to taxi terminal, and then also commissioning the Kabusa Keti road of 9.5 kilometers. And again, the Speaker represented him in commissioning the access roads in the Kiri district. And then the Senate President represented him in commissioning the OSEX from Apo Mechanic to Wasa. And also represented him commissioning the Kubo bus to taxi terminal, and also represented Mr. President in the interchange of the N20 leading to the Northern Parkway. Mr. Vice President has represented Mr. President in commissioning the CN8 arterial road, which was done 2 days ago. Yesterday, Mr. Vice President represented Mr. President in commissioning the Oshafa Army War College and other roads that up to 16.4 kilometers. By the grace of God, it will be rounded up tomorrow by the Vice President commissioning, going to Wagulada to commission the Palace roads and the region Nigeria and all other roads, which is about 10-point-something kilometers. So, the whole thing was done by President, but it would be impossible for President to, for 16 days, personally. But what is important, every important public officer represented Mr. President, for the level of the Vice President to the Deputy Senate President, to the Senate President, to the Speaker, and the Deputy Senate President. So that's where we are. So we're not just dragging President up and down, rather we're celebrating the works of Mr. President.
Yes, I do have a follow-up. You've been on a marathon this while commissioning projects. Are there some projects you would have loved to add to this batch of commissioning that perhaps for some reason are not in this batch and you hope to get commissioned
yes.
soon?
In fact, as I speak to you, we looked at the whole thing, and we have to divide it into two segments. We believe that from September, we'll have the opportunity of inviting Mr. President and sometimes maybe the head of judiciary decision to be able to commission the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal, and then the residential quarters of the justices of the Court of Appeal, judges of the Federal High Court, and that of the FCT High Court, and some other roles like Kabusa, Takushera. So many projects we have lined up. It would have been impossible for us, President, the president of the country. You have a lot of engagement, so we'll try to split them, So that's what we're doing.
Chris?
Okay, thank you very much. No doubt you've given the Federal Capital Territory a first lift. One would somehow begin to wonder if we had leadership within this area in the past years. But when you were making your initial answering his question, you made reference to the flag off of the construction of the INEC headquarters.
Yep.
After that flag off, tongues were wagging. INEC is supposed to be an independent body, take care of their own issues, and the executive is coming to dabble into their own exclusive affairs. So are you worried about that?
I'm not bothered about tongues wagging. Tongues will always wag. One thing you must know is that, and to the glory of God, the chairman of Osomamuni Yakubu did say every of their structural buildings and everything has always been done by FCD. All public buildings have been carried out by FCD. It has nothing to do or interfering with your work. Even where they are today, the main headquarters, was built by FCD. So there's nothing new about FCD constructing an office space and hand over to them. In fact, most ministries, as I speak to you now, the president has directed that we provide accommodation for Ministry of Livestock. So all public buildings are always carried out by FCD through FCD. That has been there. But you see, like you have said, there's nothing you do that people who do not mean well for this country will not criticize. So how does that interfere in the independence of the INEC? If you also say so, it also means that even when you provide structures and logistics for the police, for the army security, you are also interfering. They ought to carry out their duties independently. And for me, this country can move forward when we begin to belittle on issues that will not help us to grow. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, right out from day one, whichever name you may call it, whether NEC, whether FEDICO, whatever you may call it, as they came into Abuja, every structure they have is built by FCT through FCDA. So there's nothing new. The president said, look, they've complained of sort of accommodation, and you have to provide a befitting accommodation so that they don't go start renting and being embarrassed by landlords and the rest. So we should commend the government for taking bold step instead of reading meanings to everything you do. I think that's not fair.
I still follow up on that.
Follow up. This is democracy, sir. People will hold you accountable for whatever you do as a public officer. And people are still talking about the International Conference Center.
Yes.
They are saying that it was built by the military regime of self-styled President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida.
Yep.
And it was built for 200 and something million, and you ended up renovating it for 39 billion or 40 something billion. But as a matter of fact, that you now went ahead to name it Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center.
Yes.
That it was wrong. That it wasn't this administration that built that edifice. If there's anything, it should be named after Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida if you are going to name it at all.
I like that. Very good. Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport was built by Nnamdi Azikiwe. Moshood Abiola Stadium was built by Moshood Abiola. Why do we reduce ourselves? That you built something means it will be named after you. Certainly not.
Not necessary. No.
Certainly not. That I built a bus terminal to be named after me.
No.
So why would it be named after the man whom you said that I built it?
So after renovation, why did you name it after Tinubu?
Hold on. 1991, that place was built. 1991 by Julius Berger. We have had presidents. Nobody had deemed it necessary to say, look, how can you have something that was built in 1991? When Mr. President last year went to inaugurate the ECOWAS Parliament, it was embarrassing. It takes a leader who has quality, who has vision. He came in, the next thing he did was to call the Senate President and called me. Is it an international conference center? Is it what we are telling West African countries and that is what we have? Is it the kind of image we are projecting Nigeria? He said, no, he won't take this. And I apologized to him that that's my first time of coming to that place. And that this was what happened. The place was given to a politician from Adamawa State, a senator. You can't believe that is the only thing we have to showcase to the world in case we're having international conferences and this. Where do they go to? Must they go to a hotel? And the president said, no, this cannot happen. And give me a marching order, this has to be done, shut it down, and you must do everything humanly possible within a short time. We did what we call under emergency procurement. If we are going through the normal processes, it will take you 1 year, 1.5 years. But the law allows us to go under emergency procurement. And we looked at who are those who built this or who built this without finding out it was Julius Berger. But again, let me come to say something when you say 200 million. You know, people talk for talking's sake. You built it in 1991, 200 million. What was the exchange rate? What was the exchange rate in 1991? And what's the exchange rate now? The only thing that we didn't do in that structure was to bring the whole thing down. Everything was removed. I'm sure if you go there today, you'll be happy for them. Now let me tell you how this country works. The man they gave it to was paying to the FCT every year 50 million naira. As I speak to you, that place was commissioned in June 10. Do you know the revenue was made within 3 weeks? 650 million naira.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Already.
650 million naira. But this was somebody giving us 50 million naira a year. What? That is the country we are in. 50 million naira a year. And we have allowed 650 million naira in 3 weeks. Why? People love good things. The president hosted the equal access of state in that international conference center. Go and see the comments from ambassadors, everybody. People are rushing that place now. In fact, there's no space. As I speak to you, it has been booked up to 2027.
Really?
Yes. You know, the country we are in is a place that if you begin to pay attention to frivolities, you won't achieve anything. If I listen to, when I shut down that place, if I tell you comments from high-ranking Nigerian senators, ministers, oh, this man was one of our men, and this, what does that have to do with me? What we are talking about, is it what Nigeria should present to the world that they have? And now you are saying, why did I name it after Bola? Who should I name it after? Tell me, who is more qualified?
You probably would have left it as international.
What is called International Conference Center? What is called International Conference Center?
For the fathers,
Excuse me, we have IBB, hold on. We have IBB International Golf Course. It's not correct. Why did you leave it International Golf Course? We have IBB International Golf Course.
There is the question of continuity after the tenure of the president, whether in the next 4 or so.
You cannot change it. Because there was nobody's name, we never change anybody's name. International Conference Center is not a name to anybody. And it still answers you. All who says, Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center.
You're confident that no one will come after you?
If you do that, that's their business. Maybe you have something. You cannot change when it is named after somebody. You go and remove the name and go and give it another person. International Conference Center is nobody's name. It's nobody's name. Have you had anybody answer International Conference Center? Okay. So if they have given it, say, Benga, International Conference Center, and then I come and remove Benga, then you will be, sir, why would you remove Benga? I give it to Chris. In this case, it is named International Conference Center. And what is International Conference Center? We must have to apologize.
What's your response to the allegation of this is a case of extreme sacrifice?
What is sacrifice again? Knowing me very well, what is sacrifice? Sacrifice that somebody showed leadership. Sacrifice that somebody had given support for me to achieve what we have achieved. It's only when the person dies. We would like to remember the dead. But we don't want to remember people who are alive, who are putting up their energy to make sure the country gets better. It's only when they die, you remember them. I will not do that.
But some will say that he's doing what he's elected to do, as the leader of the country. So,
but some people that were elected and they didn't do. What about those who were elected and they didn't do it? So if you're elected and you are doing it, why not say, look, this one has done it, and let us recognize you?
okay.
What do you lose that is named after him? Tell me.
Your Excellency, quite recently,
Yes.
we are seeing so many, monuments, projects being named after Mr. President.
Yes.
We're having roads, we're having schools, polytechnics, now International Conference Center and all that. Past leaders didn't really do that.
I don't know about the schools. Tell me any president that was not named, that has not named in terms of roads. Yeah. Mention one. Mention one. Why should his own now be problem? You have a president and a policeman. You have IDP. You have Buhari. You have
Redwa.
So what is all this Kulabalu that they will name after president and this? Who will they name? Will name it after Abraham? Not only. We should name it. We should only we name after Professor Ewolo Shenga. Why do you not criticize that?
It's the optics of it. Some people say that there are other issues that should be taking attention, not people being distracted by they say they are hungry and then everything is being named after the president.
What has hunger got to do with? I named this place in the name of somebody. What has that got to do with hunger? It's the hunger cost for the fact that I named a hall after somebody. Is that the cost of the...
Being sensitive to the sentiments being expressed.
Who are those expressing that?
Nigerians.
People generally.
Who are the people? The people who are from day one do not want to see you. The people who are from day one have opposed him. I mean, let us focus on what will move the country forward. I don't know how naming and anything like that in favor of Mr. President will stop hunger or will increase hunger. How?
Okay, Honorable Minister, let's end the issue of projects this way. Your first year, about 9 projects commissioned?
Yeah.
About 15 or so now. And now, if I know you too well, you already have something on paper for for next year, for the next one year. Yes. What are the projects that you are planning?
Don't let the cat out of the bag. Just don't worry. All you should, whether we got the subject to showcase, doing us very well. That's, you know. We don't know what would be maybe more than what we have done now. Remember, last year we did 7 days.
So
this year we have done 16 days. We are doing 16 days. So it means that the likelihood in the 3rd year it may be 20 days. But you see, what does it tell you? Today I'm happy. Even when we go to a commission project, you should go with placard. Please remember us here. Remember us here. Remember us here. It makes me happy. Has anybody before gone to say, okay, remember us here? Nobody. It gives us that happiness. Oh, look, for the first time, a president, Senate president, will go to rural areas who have seen president in the rural area before. That tells you that, look, the way they feel for the city is also the way they feel for the satellite town. So all this, people should, you know, I have always told people, you don't need to like me. But am I doing the right thing? Look at what's happening in the FCT today. Nigerians are angry. Nigerians are angry. Nigerians are angry that we're providing roads are everywhere in FCT. All those who say Nigerians are angry, they're all living here in Maitama, in Asokoro, using the interchanges and flyovers.
Yeah,
they are not seeing those things. They've not come to say, look, you have done well here. Everything you hear, Nigerians are angry.
Oh, okay, I think some of the... Okay, I think some of the concern, there was protest by primary school teachers and children have been out of school for about 3 months. We know that you have a meeting scheduled, but why is it taking so long? I mean, couldn't this have been addressed a little earlier?
Okay, I thought you would have said, thank God steps are taken to resolve the problem. But you know the background. You know, that is what I've always told people that, I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry to say, I'm going to do personally with you. We have to do with our kind of journalism. We don't carry out what we call investigative journalism. You just see somebody carrying placards and that. Have you gone to find out whose responsibility? It's not our responsibility.
It's the local government.
It's the area council. Several times we have come to intervene. Have you had any secondary school that's any strike? Have you had that we don't pay workers their salaries? Remember too, you have only talked about autonomy of local government. You are forcing me to seize their funds. Tomorrow you say, governors, FCT minister, always collect the money from the allocation of the local government. Is their responsibility? We have come together. We said, listen, the last time we have to build them out 60% of the money. This time around we start. And also, the teachers should also try to understand too. We know, and that's one of the problems we hold in this country today, of our top of democracy and of top of federalism, where you fix minimum wage for everybody without considering the peculiarities. Now, you have said this is what they're going to earn. But you've not found out what is the allocation to these area councils and how much do they make? Do they have the capacity to pay this? Why would not have allowed them to negotiate? But again, it has happened, it has happened.
Good.
Again, I do not have the power to seize their funds. It requires intervention. Mind you, we don't have any assembly. Our assembly is the House of Reps and Senate. So I cannot unilaterally take action except they amend the law. I cannot. So when I sat up with you, listen, in negotiations, it's give and take. You two must face a reality. You see, one problem we have with labor is they like, who will say they should not earn their wages or whatever? Who will do that? But the reality is, with what they are facing, with the funds available to them, can they? Certainly not. However, you can say, okay, let us take it in phases. What they are talking about is arrears. Do you know how much you are talking about? About 18 billion naira. And I said, look, it's not in dispute, it's not in doubt. Even some of the demands they make are outrageous, with all due respect. But however, we have struggled, and this and they have got them to say, okay, do you know what, which is even illegal, what I've done? By seizing the 10% IGR of the area councils. May and June, I said, don't give to them. Let's calculate it, how much is it? Let's see how much we can put in.
With their consent?
Now you're talking about consent. Yeah. You see, now you're talking about
the other side is about sustainability
yes.
as well.
See, these are the things.
Yeah.
So if we follow the way it's supposed to be, the legal aspect of it, you know what I'm doing is not constitutional. You know that?
Yes.
It's not. However, this is where public interest now overrides. It's okay. Look, should we continue to allow our children to be at home simply because by law you have no power to do it? So that it's not every time we talk law.
Yeah, no.
And it's not when it does not favor you, you journalists will come up. He has no such powers.
Yeah. Yes.
But there's a danger in that, isn't it?
But so what do I do? Well, what do I do? Do you want me to wait for amendment? How long will it take? Then it can take you to 1 year
But are these solutions sustainable? Because if you handle the situation
that
today...
is one problem. What is sustainable is that the law must be amended. But in amending that law, it will take you a long time, and then you continue to run. If I do not give you this background now, you will know that even the Federal Ministry of Education has issued a statement. It is not FCT. It is area council, like you say, local government council. It's like in the states now. You are owing salary. You are saying federal government has not done anything. What is the business with the federal government? They're giving you your allocation. You can pay to BDX. You can solve your problems.
Empirically, are we saying that even the responsibility of paying primary school teachers is beyond the capacity of the local governments and area council? Are we saying so?
I think so. I believe so. Let me tell you. And I say it here. When you see the staff of the FCT, you will ask yourself, how did FCT have almost 50,000 workers? How? How? As I speak to you now, the salary is about almost 13 billion every month. Now, what do we get from the federal government? If the federal government gets 800 billion naira a month, they give us 1%. 1% of 800 billion is 8 billion naira. It's 8 billion naira. With 8 billion naira, can I pay the salary with the minimum wage? Can you pay the allowances that health hazard this all kinds? It's only in Nigeria I see all kinds of things. I heard they went and locked the gate, right? No worker, but they are taking their salary. Now have they asked? You lock gate, but your salary will be paid.
Okay, Your Excellency, ordinarily,
yes.
you know, you've given a whole lot of explanations.
Yes.
Plausible, no doubt. But knowing you, yes. One would have still expected that the strike by primary school teachers would not last this long, that you would have intervened early enough. But that is one, sir.
I thought we did intervene, but the workers, the teachers, have not been realistic. That it will be difficult for this front, just once, it will be difficult. Allow them to pay in phases. That's what I said here. I'm not saying that the area council don't also have their own portions of blames, you know, and I'm not saying that. But we must be realistic. Government is not done, government is not run that way.
But the councils have no problem with the kind of Marshall Plan that you propose now, which is warehouse their own share of your internally generated revenue and then augment it by probably up to 60%.
As it is now,
I just want to be sure whether that is going to be on a sustainable basis.
We were meeting today by 12 this afternoon, and they have not been happy that, but I say, well, the situation we are now, there's nothing we can do about it.
What are they not happy with?
All they are saying that, look, it's our right. I say, well, it's our right. We have to stabilize the FCT. We don't have to cause security crisis. Well, it's your right. So, you know, under normal circumstances, some could go to court to challenge it. Some could go to court. And whether you like it or not, the issue is, do you have the right to stop their funds?
No, but yes,
Do you have the right? Certainly not. Because again, on a human face, you are ready to take the risk.
yeah.
And these are things we want you to also bear with us.
Yeah.
That it is not easy. These are our challenges. These are problems for us.
Okay,
Okay.
With
It's long.
the FCT experience, particularly regarding this teacher strike, would you want to advocate the kind of a constitutional review in terms of what should be the responsibilities?
Yeah, we'll do that.
At least to make a payment of teacher
salaries
sustainable.
Yeah.
You see, that's where you see in most states, sometimes when you say states are tampering
Yes.
with local government funds, it's because of these primary school teachers that are workers. Because they don't want anything that will make teachers to sit at home. So it gives room now to interfere in local government allocation.
Now, just to pursue what he said about long-term solutions, because is it possible to start now and perhaps get some law put in place before your time in office is up?
The chairman of FCT and the chairman of area councils in the House of Reps, they will all be here today. We have met and they've all agreed to see how they could propose some amendments that will see how we'll be able to, be doing this kind of problems in the future. And they appreciate and agree that people don't have the facts about the entire scenario. I didn't ask them, why do you lock up FCT? Why not go to the area council and lock up? Well, you are not under me. So why do you come here to lock the gate, cry and carry children to come and to still don't bother me? What bothers you that look? You cannot see the future of the children, not being allowed to grow. It's not fair.
So I guess they come to you because they believe you are someone that don't take no for an answer. You get things done.
Or probably because you have been commissioning projects all over the place.
Because it affects the project. I could as well to not use the money to do project. After all, I'm not the first minister here.
Talking about projects, sir, a lot of people, now that there's this protest within the FCTA workers over issues bordering on salaries. Yes, you could commission projects and everything, but we're now talking about welfare of your staff.
What's the welfare? What are they entitled to that have not been paid?
Workers' salaries.
See, first of all, it's unfortunate. We believe that the moment you go to the gate and block the gate, that will make it to get where they're supposed to get. First of all, I want the head of service is the head of the workers. As far as I'm concerned, I do not know what workers are. It's not my business. It is the head of service that puts it to say, look, I've seen where they have brought fine, pay this, this and that. Of course I pay. They're talking about, they've not done their promotion, no promotion. All kinds of things. We just started minimum wage. Increase minimum wage. Then the next day talk about promotion. All these things are part of it has financial implications.
But, Honorable Minister.
Everybody's just talking about, I want to end this. I want to end this. And nobody wants development. Can you earning alone bring development?
Should go together.
No, but that's not what we're doing. The government has just increased the minimum wage. Then the next 2 hours, give us promotions. Come on.
Is it not the function of the law that this people they have a right?
That's when you begin. That's what I said. When you begin to apply the law. See, all these things are compromised. Government cannot take all its funds for payment of salaries. It means there will be no school. It means there will be no road. Nowhere is it done. And then when government say, okay, let me say I can collect the taxes. You say, oh no. Where does government get the money from? Particularly as it concerns FCT. Where do you get it from? What are the taxes? And people have just given you the analysis how much we get from federal government, assuming they get 800 billion a month, which does not apply. Assuming So you need more money to add to pay the salaries, not to talk about the infrastructure. Therefore, we now run to people like you, who live in Maitama, who live in Asokoro, who live in Wuse. Pay your taxes. No poor man lives in all these areas. No poor man.
Yeah, you did say when you came on that you wouldn't mind taxing the rich, hurting them to get things done for public good. But
no, I don't say which one. I said I will step on toes.
Yes.
So the one which hunt.
Yes. No, I didn't say which hunt. I said hurt the rich to get.
No, but when I mean hurting, legally.
No, okay.
No, you know you can hurt somebody by being wicked.
True.
But if I allow the law to take place, it hurts. It's not my business.
Okay, so I was actually
still on the issue
towards
of promotion. Sorry, still on the issue of promotion, which of course your workers at the FCTA are raising. We recall when you were governor in Rivers State, you also commissioned lots and lots of projects,
Yes.
roads,
Yes.
Flyovers.
Yes.
The workers also raised the issue of on promotion, no promotion, you know, and it's like the lightning striking at some same point the second time.
You're not correct. You know, if I tell you, like I've said, okay, take for example, the promotion you're talking about, they didn't have their promotion before I came. You did not kill anybody. It is now I came that you now know that promotion was being done. Equipment was there. You never raised any eyebrow. That you see me commissioning projects has become a problem. If the projects were not being done, will you have raised eyebrow? In any case, must you protest before you think that I said I was not going to say any of them. And I'm not going to see them.
What is the level of the involvement of workers in all of these projects? Probably that is what is informing their projects.
That you don't place
Yes. They want to
on
be the contractors. Who are those? Do they want to be the contractors? That's working the system here. So many things we are not working. Okay. Now because we have come to change things, they are not happy about it. Who's the executive? Procurement, all those things are all civil servants. I'm not the one. Now you lock the gate. I just asked a simple question. You lock the gate, but they are paying salary. Where did they stay to sign that salary that you are paying?
Okay.
So I thought, since there will be no work, let nobody go and sign your salary. So you will collect the salary that you sign.
For that crisis.
And then you've locked the gate. So I can say, I can't go to work. The gate has been locked. I have no access to my office. Treasurer cannot go. So where will you collect your salary from?
Yeah. Honorable Minister.
But shamelessly, they've not even asked where did I stay to sign the salary. They are collecting.
Well,
what I will not take is threat. What I will not take is intimidation. I will not do it. Nothing will make, because there are processes. There are processes. You write to me, this and this. I need to hear the science. What is here? What is here? What's the position?
But at least they got your attention now.
But you just go and carry placard to embarrass me because some positions are using you because of achievements we have recorded. I will not listen to you.
Yeah, but they got your attention now.
I will finish the commissioning tomorrow.
But they got your attention. Sorry, sir.
Enjoy my life. I will carry that placard. Yes, I will do it.
But they got your attention now, and you're having an emergency meeting with them.
No, that's NET.
Okay. I thought the workers were also involved, and NANS and all of them.
Like I said, you have not written to me to say, look, these are your problems.
But they're giving you another notice of 20 days or so? Of 23 days.
The gate for 3 days. Continue. You know, the only thing we would think we do here is only when politicians use you, give you some money. I was watching video, what one of them was saying, so embarrassing in staff. I can see he has turned to be a politician, and I will face him as a politician. At the appropriate time, I will tell him that, look, You know,
but
what you don't know, you don't go in. What you don't know, you don't go in. As a civil servant, look at the kind of statements you're making. Politician. You're talking now like a politician, that you have people backing you. It's okay.
Talking about achievements and the array of projects you're doing, are you worried that beggars are coming back to Abuja streets? In fact, if you get to some junctions, they even attack motorists. Are you concerned about that?
Perhaps attached to that is also the issue of the poor waste management in the FCT general.
There's no poor waste management. We're talking about beggars. Now let me tell you something. You know, like I always said, these beggars, I think they're coming from somewhere. You remember I went to defend my budget in the Senate. The senator said I should provide for these beggars. So what I will do, beggars from Abia, they will not leave Abia. Beggars from Kaduna, they will not leave Kaduna. Beggars from Imo, Rivers, Sokoto, all. They will now move into Abuja. Now it's my responsibility to begin to provide for
them.
Who does that? Who does that? And then when you begin to say, listen, where are you coming from? Take them back. It becomes, first of all, ethnicity will come in, religion will come in. This vote, for Christ's sake, this is a city. This is the capital of a country. This is the capital of a country. You cannot tell me that you are not able to carry out responsibility in your areas, and then it becomes a burden for another state to carry. How do you say that? But again, we are being very careful. You know, as I yesterday, we met with security agencies, we are providing logistics, we also have scavengers and this, trying to destroy what we have.
I'm not sure if there's a connection though, but my colleague did a report not too long ago about one chance, increasing cases of one chance in Abuja.
You don't carry correct stories. It's not
she did. She spoke to people who have been victims.
Outside where?
But
you know, I've always said this.
Beggar.
No, if you
beggar.
Said, I agree with you.
In the morning.
Yes, I agree with that from beggars. But the issue of one chance is not correct. Give us credit that we have been able to reduce the level of insecurity in FCT. Give us that credit. Why is it difficult for people to give credit to government? The only thing we do is to bring challenges. You don't talk about progresses that have been made. I use a bad system. I have never seen, that's why I said, investigative journalism. Where did we get this report from? Where did this happen?
It's all
there
over.
Are people who spoke.
Honorable Minister, it's all over.
Who have been
we get feedbacks.
Why not hold on? You get feedback from who?
A beggar is set up now.
Let me tell you. You get feedback, look at the reports people are writing. How you gave your son 2,000 hectares of land. That cost about $3.something billion. No, hold on. These are the kind of things you write. Even you sitting down on your own.
Not all credible platforms take that.
It's journalists. You don't tell me that.
Somebody close to me was picked by one chance people.
From beggar.
In Abuja here.
Because my office. My problem with you, when an incident happens, the United States is rampant. For Christ's sake, you cannot say in a city, you cannot have a crime. It's not correct. And we must, and that's what I've always said, that it happened in Beggar last night, for example. That don't mean that it's not rampant. You cannot say, you cannot have an incident of kidnap. You cannot say that. We're in this world, even in America, the most developed in terms of technology and the rest of it. You cannot say that. But the point we're making is that, have we done something that you can say today that insecurity has really come down in everything? You're not even talking about that. All you are picking, one of my friends called me last night. So, for how long now have they called you? For the past 6 months, has anybody called you? Just they called you one last night. That has not made it, oh, you're not being fair to the system.
Honorable Minister.
You want balance. Your stories.
All right.
Give us credit what we have done.
Okay.
And then come up to say, these are challenges that we are seeing.
All right, sir. We need to go on a quick break. When we get back, you will still be answering that question on waste management in the FCT. You said it's not a problem. People say it's a problem. And I can point out to areas where waste management is a problem in Abuja.